Hi friends, and welcome back to Jewelry with Jen. I am so grateful and blessed to be here with you guys today, and I'm so grateful that you guys are joining me. Thank you so much for popping into my world and following and subscribing and sharing the love, showing the love, and supporting me. Your support means everything. It goes a long way and allows me to continue to do what I love to do, and I'm so glad that you guys are, just the most amazing people. You all touch my heart. It just warms me with joy from head to toe, truly. We're gonna, again, getting into mixing our metals, even though this is cord. You see, we have silver, and then we have, this beautiful Burlywood on the backdrop of this Peru leather, which is obviously in the brown family of our leather cord. But the mix, guys, of this gets into that same trend I've been talking about with the mixing of metals, mixing of your color tones, your undertones, meaning all your findings and things. And that's what we're going to do. So if you're a beginner, welcome aboard. And if you've never dealt with leather before, I will put up a Jewelry 101 about doing simple leather knots and working with leather. I have not done that yet. It is on my list to do, but you will see me do it here today, and it's really easy, guys. So I have the same 24-inch piece of cord that you received in your kit, and that's what we've got, and we're going to go ahead and start it out. So let's get going, guys. So what we'll do is we'll just grab one end, and all of your pendants are going to be different. They're all a different shape and size. So this is mine, but they all have a similar type of hole that either is up here on the top or here in the center, but they are all pretty similar. And so I'm just going to string that right through, and then I'm going to put the ends of my cord together to find my center and get my pendant here centered on my cord. I'm going to go back up and make sure that I'm still centered. See, I'm not, because this is an important step number one. So I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to flush myself at the bottom. I'm going to run my fingers down to get myself centered on my cord. With my pendant on my cord, rather. Okay. Let's see if that's pretty good. Pretty close. Okay. And so now the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is just a regular overhand knot to anchor my pendant. And there's lots of ways to do things. This is how we're going to do it today. So I'm going to keep both my pieces of leather together here. And I'm just going to go and wrap it around my finger one time. And then I'm going to pull it through that loop there. Pull my leather through. And now I am going to, keeping my loop on top here, I am going to use my finger and push that down. And you can do this any way you want, but I kind of want this leather to be on the front of my pendant. So I'm going to kind of try to move and manipulate this knot down to where it's laying on top. See how that kind of almost looks like an infinity knot? And I'm just going to push it down and keep working it down to where it's just right on top of my pendant there. Okay, like that. And then I'll just keep pushing it down with my finger, and then I can go ahead and open it up and tug like that. And that's what I've got. And that's how we're going to start it out. Okay. And from here, what we're going to do is we'll just do a fun pattern. And so what I'm going to do is actually design on the fly here, guys. And so I am going to feed an agate bead, or 2 or 3. Let me see here what I'm doing. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then 3. Let's do 3. So I've got 3 agates there. And I'm going to put 3 on the other side. And as you know, if you got this bag, These agates are just sensational. There's no two the same. They're so beautiful. Just absolutely stunning. These agate beads in tree. I just love them. So I've got my 3 agates there. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to go ahead and I am going to hold down, and you'll just keep wiggling that around. It's fine. Okay. And so I'm going to hold that down, and then I'm just going to do regular knot. So there's lots of ways to do this. We're just going to do regular overhand knots. So I'm just going to do a regular knot here. Okay. And then I am going to, again, holding my beads down, I am going to force my knot here down with my thumb all the way to the top of that bead so that it's really tight next to the bead there. Okay? Really easy, guys. Okay? And then same thing over here is we'll just do a regular knot here. And then we are going to be mindful to be pushing that knot down before we tighten it, because it's thinner cord. You want to get it where you want it before you tighten it up. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to push my knot down there. And see, I've got too much slack there, so before I tighten that up, let me loosen that a little more. So I'm pushing my beads down, and now I am going to force my knot down right on top of that bead. And then pull it with my thumb, and there you go. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing that randomly here. Now, what's also cool, guys, is just some design ideas. If you are familiar with leather, that's awesome. You could make like a knot here, right? And have some of the leather showing through your design. You can just do whatever you want. That's the fun thing about leather, very similar to the Coriana beading chain. The leather becomes part of the design, right? Showing the leather. So we've got those agates in there. What I'd like to do now is I would like to put, I think, one of these green beads, the 6mm matte. Nope, maybe I want to go a bicone first. Let's see. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll do 2. Let's see what that looks like. I like it. So I've got my 2 bicones there. Same thing. We'll just do a regular overhand knot. And again, we are going to push the knot down, forcing it down right on top of that bead before we tighten it up. And that's what we've got. And now I think I'm going to go with these cool imitation jade. These are so cool. Super pretty. I don't know if I want to do I want to do 1, or do I want to put some more agate in there? Not sure. Like I said, I'm just kind of designing on the fly a little here with you guys today. Maybe even 3. I don't know. These are just so pretty. Love these beads. Nope, I'm not feeling that. Maybe I'm just feeling 1. think I'm just feeling one. And same thing, guys, we'll just make another knot here. We're just gonna keep doing the same thing as we go. And every time I do a knot, I'm holding my bead and pushing my knot down as I'm pulling this part of the leather up to force that knot right on top of the bead. Okay. Where I'm at, and I'm good and happy with that many beads. Okay, and so now I am going to get the ruler involved. And I think I want around, kind of like around a 20-inch, because our pendant here, right, is at least 1.5 inches. Some of you may have gotten one that's 1 3/4 inch, 2 inches. They're all different shapes and sizes. But so if we make this a 20-inch necklace and this hangs down a little bit, that's kind of perfect for me. So what we're gonna do is I am going to exclude the pendant from my measuring at the moment. Because what I'm gonna go around the neck, I want to be 20 inches, right? So I'm gonna put the end of my ruler right here at my knot. And then I am going to kind of, you know, I could pull it, but I'm not going to, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm just gonna let it relax the way that it is. And I'm gonna go up here to the 10, right? Because we also have the lobster clasp. And that's about a little more than 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna go right here to the 10. I'm gonna grab both pieces and put that at the knot. I'm grabbing both pieces and I'm gonna go ahead and cut, guys, just right below the 10. I'm gonna go ahead and snip that because 10 and 10 is 20, right? Okay, and so now what I'm gonna do is we are going to grab our little foldovers, and if you don't have any of these in your stash, guys, I will link these with the kits in the video, or excuse me, not the kits, the bags, the Peaceful Park bags, because I do have these in my store. I have several sizes. So we're just gonna lay this, and we're gonna lay the leather. Let me pull you down so you can see what I'm doing. I've laid the leather inside, and I am going to grab my pliers, and this is a little tedious because the leather wants to move around, but we'll do the best we can. So I'm going to try to get one folded in here, and then I am going to try to grab the other side with my plier under one side and over the top and pull that in. And you could have also put a dab of glue inside that before we folded that. You can absolutely put a piece of glue. You know, I could have absolutely done that. I usually use the Gel Control Loctite. You can use E6000. That would give you a little extra security. And then I'm going to grab my regular crimpers. Okay, so this is what I have. And I'm going to just, so you see how my leather has kind of expanded a little bit right there? And now I'm just going to take my crimp and that bottom divot, and I'm just going to give it a nice firm squeeze. Just like that. Okay, so you see that's what we've got. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Then we're going to just grab a couple pair of pliers and we will add some jump rings and a lobster. And I've just got some 4mm silvers out here. So I'll just put that right there on my little cord end and feed my lobster on. Close up my jump ring. And same thing over here. And what I was going to do is make a little bit of a chain extender with my jump rings. So I'll just add that jump ring right there on the cord end. Close that up. And I'm going to add another jump ring. So it's like, where do you want to open? Okay. Which is actually kind of good. That means they're going to stay nice and secure and closed. And then I'll add a fourth one on the back here. Just so it gives also somebody, you know, the option to adjust it to. It gives you several areas to clamp your lobster clasp and adjust it by about an inch or so. Make it shorter or longer. And there we go. And that's what we've got, guys. Now, with that said, so you see how it's kind of like that. Okay, so what I normally do, guys, is I will go ahead and clasp it together, and then I'll go ahead and I will take this and from the lobster portion or whatever clasp I used, and I will literally hang it through like a head pen from like my light here, or literally a push pin on a board, a cork board, and then I know you can't really see, most of it's out of camera, but that's gonna allow gravity to get involved and help this to relax. And I usually do that for, to be honest, a couple of days. It just depends. This